Hi, it's Jeff Quintin here, Prudential Fox & Roach Realtors. Thank you very much for taking this time to take a look and review this video. This video I'm going to talk about is our purchase contract addendum with regards to short sales. We have an addendum that when we're representing sellers right now, that our sellers sign an addendum to our listing agreement, which is also the addendum to the agreement of sale that will be submitted when we go ahead and submit to the bank. So a lot of times different buyers, different agents for the buyers have different questions regarding this, and I want to go over this step by step just to fill you in, give you the reasons why it is structured the way it is, and how we can benefit you as a buyer or a buyer's agent on getting the deal done with regards to the addendum. Okay, so taking a look at the addendum right now, if you happen to have a copy of it or may receive a copy. Paragraph number 1. Basically, in this paragraph, it talks about that the buyer, okay, buying the property as a short sale, would agree to pay up to 2.5% of the gross sales price in the event that the seller's lender doesn't approve certain expenses, certain customary normal expenses that are required to get the sale through with the lender. Okay, now it's an escalation clause up to 2.5%. So if the purchase price of the property is $500,000 or $400,000, whatever it is, up to 2.5%, the buyer has to agree that they'll come up that additional amount to pay for some of these items at the closing. If it can be built into the price, great. Otherwise, it may actually have to be out-of-pocket cash to pay a lot of these things off for the seller's expenses. Keep in mind, it's a short sale. The sellers don't have any money. Okay, there's no money for them to come out of their pocket, so we're going to use this as an escalation clause that you agree to help them out to pay off these certain standard customary expenses to get it through. Now, many of these sellers, the lenders today, many times and all the time, are not paying for customary sellers' closing fees. They won't pay for example, state transfer tax, the 2% non-residence tax. They won't pay for certain commission. They won't pay for certain expenses, loss mitigation fees. They won't pay for settlement room fees, deed transfers, all kinds of things. Junior lien holders, being able to do a seller contribution to get certain language in their approval letters. Many times they won't approve all these things, and this is an escalation as a buyer that says we're agreeing to that. So when you put together your offer on the listing, go ahead and just build that into the price. So in other words, if on a 2.5% on 500,000, you call it 12 grand, okay, or whatever that number is. If you want to pay 500,000 for the property, well then just offer 488.5 or 487.5, whatever it is. Just lower the sales price by that amount, knowing that you may have to increase up to the sale price that you want to offer. Okay, so this is very, very, very important. We can't modify this. This is the way it is in the agreement. It's an escalation. You may not have to pay 0, or you may have to come up that whole 2.5%. Build it into the price so we can get everything paid off and get to the bank's bottom line net that they're willing to do. So take a look at that. Okay, so also in this addendum, which some people have some questions about, as far as timing is concerned, you got to keep in mind right now as a short sale that the lenders are going to want to close on the property 30 days after when the approval is issued. So that means that you've got to have all your ducks in a row. You've got to have your mortgage commitment in, okay? And what we require is after 30 days after the seller's signature on the contract that you receive a mortgage commitment, not a pre-approval letter, an actual commitment either for this property or any property. So make sure you make an application for the mortgage and you get that lined up, because we're going to need to close quickly, sometimes 30 days or less once the approval is in. If you make your application then, you're not going to be able to make the date, and then the approval is going to be expired. You've got to start all over again with the short sale process. So make sure that happens. We got to make sure that right now your inspections are done all up front. The home inspection needs to be done as a normal contract for sale within 14 days. Okay, and what we're not going to go through is processing the deal right now, getting an approval. You're driving a hard bargain as a short sale, understanding it's sold completely as is, get the bank approval, and then you do your inspection and then have it out. The seller's not going to go through 60 days doing everything needed to be done to get an approval and then have a contingency that you now get an inspection and find out that the doorknob doesn't work right and you back out. That's not going to, we can't do that. You get your inspection done up front. You've got it. Yes. Call a home inspector, spend $275, whatever it is, get the inspection. Now you know what you're buying. If you don't like it, then you can get out within that time frame. But we're not going to start the inspection time frame, once the approval hits. Nothing in our agreement of sale is going to be happening once the approval hits. It's all going to be before that. So when the approval does hit, then boom, we can close right away. So second deposit must be in within 14 days. The home inspection must be in within 14 days. Everything is done that way. If you look at paragraph 6, It says, as a buyer, you agree to stay in this deal 120 days from when the sellers, lenders, negotiators assigned. 120 days is we're asking for you to make a commitment to this deal. If you're not willing to stay in this deal, then don't get involved. Okay, we need you to commit to the deal because it takes sometimes that long. Now, my negotiator and all, when doing these short sales, we've typically been closing these deals, or at least getting the approvals within 90 days, 60 to 90 days. And we've done a whole bunch of these this year. We know exactly what to do and how to navigate and make these short sales go together. But we need to know that you're willing to commit to 120 days, 4 months in the deal. If you're not willing to commit to it, then it's just not going to work, okay? Basically, after that, any agreement of sale, really any other questions you have, I think I've covered most of it. The deal right now is that these can be bumpy. It can be a roller coaster as a buyer, a lot of uncertainty. But, as you get, through the process, sure, it can be frustrating not knowing what's going on. But on the other side of that, guys, once we get this approved, you're going to get a great buy. In almost every case, a short sale transaction is much less than market value and well below market value today in many cases. You got to buy it as is. You got to have uncertainty. You got to have all your ducks in a row to make it happen. And we'll drive a hard bargain and see what we can do with the lender. But it's very important that this addendum applies each and every time, not to be modified, not to be changed whatsoever. Okay. So any other questions you have regarding it, certainly give me a call, your agent a call, and I'll be able to answer all that for you. But hopefully this video has been able to share with you some of the insight why we structure it this way and what the best way it is to go about it. Okay, so any questions, give me a call, 609-398-5333. We look forward to putting together a transaction successful with you guys and making it happen. Have a great one.